there's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com, here to an update to the Pioneer Waste Not deck. So I played this in a league, actually recorded the matchups, but I'm not going to post the matchups just because they are long. We're talking about over 2 hours for 3 matchups, and I'll make you a deal. I will try to start streaming either on Twitch or on YouTube if I can get that set up, and if I can find a time on Tuesdays and Thursdays to stream. And that way we can see the decks that I brew in a stream format. And if someone in the comment section knows how to set up a streaming service that will stream both to YouTube and Twitch at the same time, I think my internet can handle it. If not, I think I'll just stick to YouTube. But if you're an expert on that, please message me and reach out to me, roguedeckbuilder@gmail.com. And yeah, that'd be awesome if someone could walk me through that process. So again, this is a fun deck to play. One of the reasons why I'm not showing the gameplay is I timed out versus Blue-White Control and against Felidar Combo. Both of those I felt strong going into the third matchup. However, it feels bad not being able to manage my time. I was playing on a laggy computer. I'm here at home right now, and this computer's old, so even MTGO is something that stresses it, so every little micro click ends up taking seconds, and versus both those matchups, both my opponents really, they were basically locked. They had lost, and they, of course, made me kill them on the second round, and then really, really, really emptied my time clock, so we didn't have enough time for the following game, where then I just timed out. So again, that's something that I'll be working on. Is I'm really rusty with the hotkeys, really rusty with MTGO, and I think until then, I'm not going to post the videos, and we'll stick to kind of streaming. So anyway, on to the Waste Not update. Felt really good with this deck. It did perform quite well against the 2 more grindy matchups. I lost to Mono Blue, but Mono Blue was top deck both games. One of the games ripped out his hand, and he had just a 0-1, and then got a Curious Obsession off the top, which allowed him to get back in the game. Is a sequence of top decks that game. And game number 2, same thing. My opponent was out of cards and top decked the one card that really put them ahead, which was the Master of Waves, which then got Thassa Online, I believe. Or no, it was the triple mana spell that got Thassa Online, and it was hard for me to recover. So versus Blue-White Control, very typical. You're able to rip out the cards out of your opponent's hands and then really grind them out, and even same thing with the Saheeli combo. So I do think the Saheeli combo will be the first banning in the Pioneer deck, and because I think that the 2 cards that they can run in the Saheeli combo have the most overlap and are the most degenerate cards right now in the format. So I think Legacy forward, you had to ban a lot of blue cards because blue is so efficient, and it did a good job at minimizing the variance, and therefore it was very hard to justify playing anything but blue. And we saw some bans like that, like Birthing Pod in the modern format, because it was one of those decks that's like, why play anything but Birthing Pod, because it was so efficient and so strong. And I'm feeling the same way about Oath of Nissa. I think Oath of Nissa is the card that needs to go after playing against the Felidar combo, because of how efficient it was with not just Felidar combo, but with Teferi. So sometimes Oath of Nissa, and then you use Teferi to bounce back your Oath of Nissa, is digging you another, it's like drawing you a card and digging you towards that combo. And it's just really, really efficient when they have other sideboard cards they can bring in, like Knight of Autumn, and just hate cards in general. And I think it's just going to be the ponder of the format that needs to go. So Oath of Nissa and possibly Once Upon a Time. I just think Once Upon a Time is just a bad design card to begin with. Another card that is a free spell that minimizes variance, makes you just play it. You have to play the card. It's no way around it, especially fixing, 3-color decks and whatnot. So those are my 2 predictions for the first bannings of the format. All right, so this particular deck, I haven't seen this go up against Baby Jace yet, but I added Smuggler's Copter. I think Smuggler's Copter and Waste Not are going to be a good combo with help fixing and getting rid of excess cards that are irrelevant. So like Dark Deals, I still don't know how I feel about Dark Deal. It felt like the worst card in the deck. The only time it felt like it was good was off of a Waste Not. And it is just a cute combo and probably doesn't deserve to be in this deck. And that might give room for something like Davriel or something like what's the 1-mana card out of Ravnica that is like the Rack? Why can't I think of the card right now? It's the enchantment that taxes your opponent if they have less than 2 cards in hand. I think that those cards might just be better than Dark Deal. Dark Deal doesn't really... It is a little bit... It's card disadvantage on your end unless you have a Waste Not, because you're casting a spell and that's the difference between the cards. You both wheel and then go -1 card. So this one I felt was quite weak in the deck and probably just needs to go. Possibly could just be a one of, and if it's cute, you find after your Waste Not, it's cute. If not, then it's just kind of a dead card. So Waste Not does seem strong though. Again, I don't know if the direction of this deck wants to go Waste Not on the sideboard and bring it in, versus decks that run Smuggler's Copter and Jaces and Cycling Lands and things like that. So you can get a bunch of card advantage off of the Waste Not. There was a couple of times my opponent had to cycle some spells out of the blue-white. They were running both the Cast Away and the Hieroglyphics. And that was a feels good moment, drawing a card off of them having to cycle to desperate try to find an answer. So Waste Not definitely feels like it has a place in this particular a meta and particular format of Pioneer. So that's the good news about Waste Not. And again, haven't faced against like a discard based deck, which there's got to be some Madness decks and there's got to be some Jace decks. They're going to be going around. So keep your eye on Waste Not. I think that this card is going to be a great sideboard slot, whether or not you actually build an entire deck. So the cards that let's just go down the deck list of upgraded one. I cut the blue because Whispering Madness felt very similar to Dark Deal. There just was no point to running that many of these effects, and I actually think that Dark Deal does need to be cut down to either a 2 of or a 1 of. The cards that perform very well, Deathrite Shaman. Deathrite Shaman in this particular deck list with the Smuggler's Copter is a pretty potent combination to set up your Deathrite Shaman and then give you either mana or give you something to exile to start taxing your opponents. This combo feel like it was a very reasonable addition. Deathrite Shaman versus both the matchups of the Saheeli combo and the blue-white control was the finisher. It was just 2 life, 2 life, 2 life, 2 life, 2 life per turn that was able to grind them out. So Deathrite Shaman did very well. Thoughtseize, of course, did very well, but this might be another slot for Dark Deal. We could go into like cards like Vicious Rumors, which just mills a card and makes our opponent discard a card, and then that gives even more of a ammo for Deathrite Shaman, and also could have some synergy with like Davriel if we decide to go that route. So I'm still open to that option of cutting the Dark Deal and putting another discard. But Thoughtseize is very good in this format. There were against the games against blue-white control, turn 1 Thoughtseizing and ripping out like the opponent's draw spell. Like one time my opponent kept like a very greedy hand of Sphinx's Revelation as the only draw, as like, and then a bunch of lands. So it was like a counter spell, Sphinx's Revelation, a bunch of lands, and then first turn ripping out that Sphinx's Revelation was hard for my opponent to come back. Cryptbreaker was kind of in this deck. I'm not sure it wants to be in here. It's cool with the combo of Waste Not. If you can start generating those zombies, it can get you up. But this might be the card that goes down to a 2 of, and then putting in some more discard based cards. So far I'm looking at Davriel and Vicious Rumors, because I don't think that Waste Not really cares what your opponent discards. It just wants them to discard cards, and then hitting that card off the top of the library is also pretty good. The card that overperformed was Gyrite Sanitarium. I think that I should go up to a 4 of this card. It's that strong in the deck. Maybe put in an Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth so it can tap for black if you need it to. And this means the Smuggler's Copter and the Cryptbreaker are pretty good at getting rid of the excess Gyrite Sanitariums. You also have the Collective Brutality that can pitch them. So I think between all of these cards, the multiples of the Sanitarium just get easily ditched. Castle Locked-Twain is another card that performed very well. So I'm thinking like Canyon Slow gets the cut. I think we have enough red for the Dreadbores and the Kolaghan's Command through Deathrite Shaman now that we don't need to go like the Canyon Slow, and that way we can go Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth and some more Gyrite Sanitariums. And then Kolaghan's Command, of course, was just absolutely awesome in all of the matchups. There were plenty of times that a Teferi would tick up and I'd be able to kill the Teferi, or tick down, and I'd be able to force my opponent to discard a card they drew at Teferi and kill the Teferi. So it seems to be a very reasonable answer for Teferi. And it's just very, very versatile across the board of destroying artifacts and, getting back play crafters or murderous riders from your graveyard. I think that this slot probably wants another utility creature that can, I guess we do have some in the sideboard, but I think another utility creature, if there was like a creature that maybe sacrifices to discard a card, or maybe just like a Ravenous Rast type card, possibly that's where Kolaghan's Command would do very good for that particular strategy. So then we have Plaguecrafter. Plaguecrafter was actually pretty bad. There's too many options. Like a lot of opponents put out things that could easily just be sacked to Plaguecrafter, but it still seems like a pretty good combo with Kolaghan's Command. I'm probably going to cut one Plaguecrafter, so it's going to be 2 Plaguecrafters and the Kolaghan's Command, and again go up on just those Vicious Rumors. And then I think, yeah, Dreadboard and Murder Strider were absolutely awesome as well. So Dreadboard might want to come up in numbers, or Murder Strider. So let's go ahead and edit this deck real quick. The sideboard, I like the sideboard. Slaughter Games is pretty good. Slaughter Games got a game, or, well, almost got a game. I mean, it would have got a game versus the All-In Blue-White Control. I think Blue-White's Control was just the approach to second sun as a win condition. It got countered versus the Energy on the game number 2, so I wasn't able to rip out the Philidars with Slaughter Games because it got countered by Veil of Summer, or Veil of... whatever the one out of Core 2020 that gives you hexproof. So Slaughter Games did not go through with that, but Lost Legacy, Slaughter Games still trying to decide which one's better. So there would probably be a sideboard slot that can get cut there. Wasn't really impressed with Angrass the Flame Chain, but I'm going to keep it in for now. So Eldest Reborn seemed kind of weird, weak. Keep it in though still because I think it's a way to grind in those grinding matchups. Ashiok, of course, still wants to be in as your go-to hate card versus Graveyard. Liliana I cut to the sideboard because I think I'm only going to bring it in versus aggro. It felt kind of very weak versus the other decks because I couldn't flip it. So I had a hard time flipping the Liliana. Kalitas still wants to be either one of or 2 of in the sideboard, and I've gone up to 3 Crypt Incursions just to guarantee that I can stabilize versus the aggro decks, and then 3 Duresses. So again, this might be able to adjust to 4 Duresses. I will start to look at deck lists to see if Duress is just something you can put in the main, and if so, then Duress can just go there. So let's do some editing real quick to this deck, and then we will call it good, and I'll play some more matchups, tell you my results, and I'll try to maybe either show some highlights, maybe if I know how to spell rumors. There's Vicious Rumors. We can... yeah, it'll basically be streaming for this until I can get my hand on. Why are these wanting foils? I don't want foils. So Vicious Rumors. I think this is the most powerful of its type because it deals 1 damage to each opponent. We are kind of a tit for tat type deck, so Deathrite Shaman doing damage. They discard a card and then put the top card library in their graveyard, which fuels the Deathrite Shamans. So I'm thinking Vicious Rumors want to be out here. I'm going to keep 1 Dark Deal in just for the memes. And probably going to cut a Plaguecrafter. So I think Plaguecrafter, I'm worried about like Carnage Tyrant type cards. It also was good versus the 5/5 Angel with Lifelink that the Blue-White Control brought in. So that's pretty neat with the Plaguecrafter. Rankle is still good as a one of. I was decently impressed with Rankle. Cryptbreaker, I think, wants to still be in here to enable the Smuggler's Copter. So far, I'd go like Vicious Rumors in for the main. Cut the Canyon Slows to go an Urborg to Yawgmoth, just a one of. So Urborg would come in. And let's go mana cost here with Urborg. Tomb of the Yawgmoth. And then I would go up down in a swamp and up in the Gaia Reach Sanitariums. Maybe go down in like an Overgrown Tomb. So G-E-I-E-R. So Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Maybe we'll try 3. Maybe I'll give 3 a go. And then bring in Castle Locktwain maybe is just still as a 2. It's kind of awkward because you don't want too many things to come into play tap because you do want to be playing like, yeah, I'm going to just keep it as a 2 for now. So we need to add 1 more land. So actually Castle probably is. Castle Locktwain just seemed really good in this deck. Now I'm going to go another Gyre. And again, we're going to be looting these away. That's going to give some value to, so the Gyre Sanitarium, the Smuggler's Copter. We'd have to recut 1 card. So I think the weak link, yeah, it's going to be Plaguecrafter for now. And possibly bring Plaguecrafter over to the sideboard and cut one of these cards, like a Lost Legacy. Maybe Slaughter Games is just better. It all depends on the deck, like how fast needed to get it out. Yeah, something here would have to give here. I think we can go possibly a Crypt Incursion and cut the Plaguecrafter. So that's what I would try at the moment. Maybe you could say that Rankle is also a card that goes to the sideboard. Yeah, let's put a Rankle to the sideboard. I'm going to put a Davriel. I'm going to try to see how well Davriel works in the deck. Because yeah, you are ripping out with like Thoughtseize and Vicious Rumors. And you get a Davriel, then you can discard 2 more cards and then get that residual damage. So yeah, we'll try it out and see how well Davriel works. But most of these cards I still think you want in here. Possibly the Collective Brutality can come over to add another slot. But this is the list I'm going to try to run with the Vicious Rumors to see if they give another more oomph with the discard. So usually these type of decks, we have a good draw engine with Crypt Breaker and with the Castle Lock-Twain to get us back in. Again, I don't know if we want to go to their Castle Lock-Twain here. We do want some amount of basic land so we can go around Field of Ruins as well as settle the wreckage. So I don't want to be going too low on the basic lands. But yeah, this seems like a pretty good list. So anyway, I'll export this list. I'll put it up there so you can see the new deck list and see what you think about it. See what other cards I might be missing that could go in this list. Let's just go ahead and get rid of... We have a card we have to get rid of in the sideboard, possibly a Plaguecrafter. Eldest Reborn. I'm going to get rid of Eldest Reborn right now out of the sideboard. I don't know if it's where we want to be in this format. So there it is right now. There you can see the overall list. And it will take some time to really fine-tune this. But good news, Waste Not seems to have a place in this format. I think there's going to be a lot of times that it's just going to be a hate card with those cards that are discarding cards. And again, we'll show matchups. We'll try to do like Tuesdays, Thursdays with the stream. Like I said, mid-afternoon, late afternoon probably is the best time for me to stream. And then we can get your input and actually show... Oh, we lost our connection there. And show show all the matchups. Anyway, this has been Kevin with the Rogue Deck Builder. Thanks for watching.